Next, regarding Medicaid. Medicaid is the program which pays for the federal and the state government pays for poor people. Right now, Medicaid is this black hole swallowing all of the state budget dollars. Medicaid now, we spend as a state of Louisiana more on Medicaid for the first time, I think I know this to be correct, than we do on education. When we hear about Nichols and LSU and Southeastern having their budgets cut, that's because Medicaid is swallowing so much money. If in 1964 this was the state budget, that was the amount that went to Medicaid. Now, in 2012, that's the amount that goes to Medicaid. And everything else is being squeezed. If we don't address this, we as a state will face higher taxes, or we're just going to continue to starve education and roads and levees and everything else, coastal restoration. How does the President's health care plan do with this? Not very well. It expands Medicaid so that now 40% of people in Louisiana will be on Medicaid. Now it's 20%, it will expand to 40%. And they pick up some of the extra costs, but not all. And our state government estimates it will be about $600 billion in extra cost to our taxpayers over 10 years. So now, the private insurance market, I also don't particularly care for the President's health care plan. It's actually raised costs for private insurance. Now some of you out there are saying, heck, Bill, you've been kind of critical of the President's plan, but do Republicans have an alternative? That is a fair statement. And we do. Again, the Wyden-Ryan plan is not a Republican plan per se, but for Medicare, it's a bipartisan plan to actually rescue that. Medicaid, there's actually a plan that Bill Clinton came up with in the early 90s that I'm kind of dusting off and trying to personally move forward as a solution to the Medicaid issue. Again, a bipartisan plan. And on private insurance, Governor named President Romney says he has ideas, I have ideas, others have ideas. But I think we also have some solutions for the private insurance market. Let's talk a little bit about coastal restoration. The rest of the country does not realize how endangered our energy infrastructure is here in the Louisiana Gulf Coast. But they do understand the importance of that. I mentioned Monday morning, I was having a conversation with somebody in New York about LNG plants in South Louisiana being converted to begin to export natural gas around the world, creating jobs for the men and women who work in these fields. The week before, I spoke to someone in Washington, D.C. about coastal Louisiana and our energy infrastructure and its ability to create economic prosperity for all the workers who would be so employed. And then on a plane, I was speaking to Scott. Last week I was in Boston with my family. I have a brother who lives up there. We took a family vacation. He happened to be there too. I'm on the plane flying back to D.C., sitting next to an energy trader. So we start talking, and he's talking about natural gas, coastal Louisiana, and the ability to export natural gas being a game changer in terms of our economy. This is the renaissance in American manufacturing. Now, people in D.C., Boston, and New York are talking about our energy infrastructure. They just need to be educated how endangered it is by coastal restoration. By coastal erosion, if we don't come up with effective ways to limit the erosion of our coastline, everything we talked about in terms of creating good jobs for blue-collar workers who currently are underemployed will be lost because the energy infrastructure that supports it is literally washed away. That's, if you will, our responsibility. We in Louisiana have to let the rest of the world know about how we are going to best do that. Now, that said, that's all the policy issues. What are the political issues?